Hi, this is Misky. I'm going to talk to you about my EDH deck today. It's a theme deck, and the theme is cats. This is my general. This is Raksha Golden Cub. He is a cat soldier legend. He's a 3/4 for 7, and his effect is that attacking does not cause him to tap, and as long as he's equipped, cats I control get +2/+2 and have double strike. So he has a very nice synergy with all the cats that are in this deck. Now I'll show you some of the other things I have. These are the creatures that I run in my deck. I put them in order from the lowest to the highest drop. So we have Leonin Sky Hunter, which has flying, pretty good for a little 2-drop. The Leonin Shikari, which lets me play equip abilities anytime I could play an instant, which is helpful with Raksha's effect. Blade of the Sixth Pride. Sky Hunter Prowler. Again, this one has vigilance. Sky Hunter Cub. The Avian Changeling, which is every creature type at all times. So even though it looks like a bird, it still fits with my cat theme. Sky Hunter Skirmisher, flying and double strike. Set's Tiger, he can flash in, and when he comes into play, I get protection from the color of my choice until the end of the turn. So that's a nice little surprise to pull on your opponents. The Leonin Abunis. Artifacts you control can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. And artifacts, as you'll see later, are very important in this deck. Sky Hunter Patrol, flying and first strike. The Changeling Hero, again another shapeshifter type thing. This requires that you champion a creature, but he does give you lifelink, so he's pretty good. Jareth, the Leonine Titan. Whenever he blocks, he gets +7/+7 until the end of turn, and I can tap 1 white to give him protection from the color of my choice. Spirit of the Hearth. I just really like the artwork on this card. It says that I can't be the target of spells or abilities my opponents control. Jedit's Dragoons, vigilance, and he gives me a little bit of life gain when he comes into play. And last but not least, the Joval Queen. Attacking does not cause her to tap. Here are the cards that I use for token generation in this deck. First we have Elspeth. She's my favorite planeswalker of all time. She makes 1/1 white soldier creature tokens, and she has some other good effects too. Usually your opponents won't let you get an Elspeth all the way up to 8, but if you ever do, she can make everything you have indestructible. Stormherd is also a great card. Put X white 1/1 Pegasus creature tokens with flying into play where X is your life total. So this can be pretty insane. The Keldoran Outpost is a land, but you can also tap 2 and this land to put a soldier token into play. And then of course Martial Coup. Put X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens into play, and if X is 5 or more, you get that nice removal effect as well. Now I'm going to talk to you about the cards I have that make +1/+1 bonuses. So first we have Door of Destinies. When it comes into play, you choose a creature type. So for this deck, I always choose cats. And whenever you play a spell of that type, put a charge counter on Door of Destinies. Creatures you control of that type get +1/+1 for each charge counter on Door of Destinies. So when you play a huge amount of cats and changelings and start generating tokens, this can be pretty powerful. Kanda's Banner, +1/+1 based on a shared color and creature type. Divine Sacrament. So initially you get +1/+1, and you can go up to +2/+2 when you have Threshold. Crusade. Glorious Anthem, one of my favorite cards in the whole game. Light from Within. Each creature gets +1/+1 for each white mana symbol and its mana cost. It's a pretty interesting effect. Shared Triumph. Again, your creature type would obviously be cats. Mirror Entity. You tap X to make all your creatures XX and gain all creature types till the end of turn. So you could have all these little tokens and make them huge, potentially. And then finally the Leonin Battle Mage. You can tap him to give a target creature +1/+1 until the end of the turn. And whenever you play a spell, you can untap him. Krovax, Ascendant Hero. There are only 2 cards in this deck that do graveyard recursion. Miraculous Recovery lets you put a target creature from your graveyard into play with a +1/+1 counter on the creature. And then Resurrection, return target creature from your graveyard to play. These are the cards that let you take cards away from your opponent. First of all, there's Swords to Plowshares, one of the best cards in the EDH format. Remove target creature from the game. That creature's controller gains life equal to its power. Path to Exile, very good removal card, but you don't want to use it too early in the game. Condemn. Oblation lets you kind of get rid of any target non-land permanent. It gets shuffled into the owner's library, and they draw 2 cards, so it doesn't totally get rid of it, but it can at least buy you some time. Disenchant destroys an artifact or enchantment. Return to Dust. Remove target artifact or enchantment from the game. If you played this spell during your main phase, you may remove up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment from the game. So I tend to play this during my main phase because it gives you 2 for 1, rather than playing it as an instant. Hallowed Burial. All creatures go on the bottom of their owner's libraries. Evangelize. So this one doesn't really remove a card from the game, but it lets you take something away from your opponent and put it under your control. It also has buyback, so you can keep putting it in your hand. Final Judgment removes all creatures from the game. Austere Command. You can destroy artifacts, enchantments, creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less, or 4 or greater. And Mass Calcify, which destroys all non-white creatures.